week I am being inspired by playing cards, and I'll show you why in a moment, based on just the fact you can switch them any which way, at least these two cards. I'm not going to do anything that replicates playing card, although I don't know, but I'll tell you what my idea is, because you know what happens? I start out with one idea and I go in a totally different direction. Nonetheless, this is the inspiration for this week's collage. I gathered imagery from old books, an old gardening book, magazine. In fact, my focal point is from the same magazine because I had doubles of it, and I love the iridescence of this page, so I might just use that. And I had two of the same magazine, and when that happens, I'm always happy because you never know when you may want to create a pattern or mirror image or just do something that's very surreal. So this might be a background. It's a little busy, but I'll think about it. Again, I'm only being inspired by the cards. I'm not trying to replicate what's the design is for these cards. Here's from that vintage garden book. Love it. This was also vintage from a motorcycle magazine, but it just reminds me of the digestive system. So that provoked me to get my Grey's Anatomy out, and I think this definitely will make an appearance. I want to do something, not today, but something in the future that shows many arms, but I want it to look good. When I try to do that, sometimes it just doesn't look right. The composition hasn't worked out for me yet. I've got some wonderful imagery here from a contemporary magazine, and then this is also from that vintage cycle magazine. So I love the mix of vintage and contemporary. I love jewelry, and I definitely know what I think I want to do with this. We're doing some fancy cutting and tucking and see what we come up with. I have been drawn to text lately because of the text and transparency workshops that I've been conducting. And here is my focal point. Also, this globe's going to fit in here. Here's my focal point. And the reason being is because I have two of the image from the same magazine. I have doubles of the magazine, so that's kind of what I'm thinking in terms of, the cards. One's upside down, but it doesn't matter which way you turn it. This is kind of big, so it's going to be a challenge in keeping it in the picture frame and then doing the final image for you, but we'll figure something out if that is the direction I'm going to go in. Again, inspiration is great. It gets me started, but I don't necessarily stay on the same path. So because he's got a nice dark patina to him, he might look good with some pink as a background. Oh, and this part, this is what I love. Oh my gosh, I fell in love with this when I saw it. See if we'll use it. Not sure. I'll even use this little bitty flower because you guys know I love pink. If any of you make it onto Jeopardy years from now and I'm famous and they talk about what was Laura's favorite color she used in collage all the time, you'll answer what was pink. Love it. So we are going to go ahead and get started. feel like I'm probably done with this collage, but I feel like it is also not quite done. So what I have here are a tin of Prismacolor pencils. I chose a couple of colors that I may want to incorporate into these black and white images. Not a lot. I'm not a huge mixed media person. I do use mixed media, but thinking perhaps using like something purpley or reddish just to add a bit more contrast. I like the composition, but I'm not sure about my choice in contrast. I think because my focal point was so dark, it was difficult really to come up with a strong background. So since I'm not sure if either one of these colors are going to work, I grabbed the Grey's Anatomy, and I'm going to find an image in here that I don't care about too much using in my future collage. Maybe something like this, and see if, well, first of all, if the pencil works. Of course it will. The thing with Prismacolor also, the harder you press and the more layers you create, sometimes it gives off a waxy look, and I'd like to avoid that. I don't think we're going to run into that risk because what I'm going to do, it's just going to be extremely light. So these colors match fairly well with the Thomas Guide map. Yeah, I think these will work. I'm liking these two right now. Was it this one? They should be sharper. I'm not going to worry about that too much. And again, it's just going to be just to create a bit more contrast. I don't want to get crazy with it. And I may add it to these flowers also. So we have a dark color and we have a light color. I usually go from light to dark when I work with color. When I did watercolor, that was my rule I heard from my instructor, especially in using translucent watercolors. Just a touch of color. I'm not going to get too crazy. See, we have an edge here with this black and white flower. Sometimes the edge, what I like to do when I do work with multimedia, I take a darker, like the darker edge of this pencil, and I'm just barely coloring the edge, not even the surface, just the edge, to give it a little bit more of a contrast. Very, very subtle. I did this a lot when I would create my own drawings from collage, which I'm kind of venturing into again. I found a very old project that I was working on, like something from 2010. So we're talking, well, 15 years ago, that I might be playing with soon. So stay tuned. So I'm liking the way this is looking. Just a little bit of this dark purple Prismacolor. Prismacolor was what I go to. I always use Prismacolor. There are so many other colored pencil products to choose from. I am accustomed to Prismacolor, but again, even like you could see the wax on here. Isn't that crazy? Well, I can. I'm not sure if you, gentle viewer, see it, but there is wax, believe me. So yeah, just rubbing a little bit on here. I think I'll continue with this and show you the final result.